Hey, hi. Thank you for coming by. Tori Magoo 44. Today's the 22nd of July, 2013. And today a fun thing happened. I went back to the convention center. If you guys watched my last video, I had gone to the gift show at the convention center. And there I had run into a young man who did this very hard sell on buying some cream. And I said, no, I'm not interested. And plus, I spent all my money for the day. And so he said, well, how about credit cards? And I said, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. You're a young man. Don't ever get into credit cards. They're awful. And I said, plus, don't get into Scientology. And he went, too late for that. So we had a conversation. Anyway, he was like, no, I'm not going to listen to anything. I don't want to look at anything. I'm not going to talk about anything. Okay, so there you go. That was a couple of days ago. So now my girlfriend and I went back today and we went by the same booth and she looked in, she knew, she said, that's Kirstie Alley's son. True. So I went over there and he asked me to put on the cream. And so I was like, okay, put on the cream. And of course, the kid next to him was having a nuclear attack. I could feel because he was like, you're talking to a suppressive person, right? Because by now he knew who I was because I told him the other day. But anyway, Kirstie's son didn't know. And I was talking to him. And so anyway, he's putting on this cream. And I said, you're Kirstie Alley's son, aren't you? And he said, how do you know? And I said, because I was in for 30 years and I escaped out. And he went, oh, okay, well. And I said, I do. He said, did you know my mom? And I said, yeah, definitely. And you can tell her I said hi, too. My name's Tori. Tell her I said hi. And you can. And I know Kirstie, and I know she'll go, oh, she's just a 1-1 bitch, whatever. Scientology, anybody who's not still in Scientology is 1-1. Now, for anybody who has never been in Scientology, that's part of Hubbard's tone scale. Let me see if I have it here. I have his old tone scale, but anyway, it's all these, his thing was like you're all operating on some kind of an emotional tone scale, be it from enthusiasm all the way down to, boredom, anger, grief, on all the way down to, I think dead, where you're just completely apathy and then death. So, but for Scientology, the worst tone level of all, L. Ron Hubbard said, was 1.1, which means covert hostility, which his picture of it was someone smiling, but they have a knife behind their back. So they're basically going to stab you in the back. And Scientologists now, for just about anybody who leaves the Church of Scientology, if you speak out, you're automatically 1-1, which is so stupid because 1-1 is covert hostility. And someone like me, I'm speaking out. I'm not covert. I'm very overt, in fact. So it's very funny when people, oh, they're just 1-1. So I want you to think about that. To anybody lurking and hearing this. Secondly, to Kirstie's son, I enjoyed talking to you. I'm not going to say what we talked about because I'm sure Osa will be right on that. And I hope you do look and learn and listen and find out both sides. Because I know, your mother's very much into it, but it wouldn't hurt her to find out both sides either. Believe me, to anybody that's watching this who's in, I was there for years, for 30 years. I was there. No. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know about it. It's N theta. That was Hubbard's word. It's N theta, meaning it's theta, the spirit that's just gotten all turbulated or upset. And it's going to upset you, and it's going to cost you a lot of money. Now, the truth of the matter is, leaving Scientology is nothing more than walking across the street. You're on one side, there's a yellow line in the middle or a white line. You walk across the street, you're free. That's it. That's all there is to it. They build in all these traps into your head so you just think it's just this horrifically difficult thing. The truth of the matter is more people are out than are in the Church of Scientology anymore. And that's a fact. There are tons of your friends that you used to know, and you're like, where are those people? They're out here, just like me. That's what they're doing. And we're not that bad. I know they try to pump, we're really evil and we're horrible, and you can believe that. Look, here's my new ring I got today. I just saw it, and I saw it in the camera. Oh, we had a good time today. It was very fun. Anyway, if you're in, I hope At the very least, you look at both sides, compare the notes. The least you should do is that. Bullies are the people that are going to go, no, 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 don't look at that. Don't read that. Don't talk to that person. No, 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 no. The KKK is like that. You know, Hitler was like that. It's like everything is all one sided. Are you really going to buy that? It's all one sided when even most of the top executives in Scientology are out now and very, very happy, living very good lives. So that's it for me. I hope to Kirstie Alley's son, I hope you hear this. And Kirstie, if you hear it too, I hope you look at both sides and learn both sides. Don't just glimpse at both sides because that isn't really looking at it and that isn't really learning it. Okay. And there you go. I enjoyed it. And thank you to everyone out who is helping expose this insidious organization. And it isn't the people. I'm not saying, I know the people are great. That isn't it. It's the organization and the guys that are running the organization that are very, very creepy and doing very, very weird, not okay things, including changing the tech, which that's the least you should stand up for, Kirstie. All right, there you go. Love you all. Bye bye.